Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to join you, even if only in this slightly disembodied form, as you launch Mosaic, a significant new initiative to help support young Muslims in Britain discover and realize their true potential. Now, some years ago, 14 to be exact, when I became patron of the Oxford Centre for Islamic Studies, I spoke of the degree of misunderstanding between the Islamic and Western worlds, and the risk of the tensions this could spark both here in Britain and abroad. I have rarely hoped more fervently to be proved wrong. Sadly, events over the past few years have shown that there was at least some truth in my analysis. So that is why I asked my Business in the Community organisation to look at whether there might be the potential to develop an initiative which could act as a positive influence to counter this worrying reality. Using my Seeing is Believing programme, they developed an increased awareness of the issues faced by the Muslim community. And I was delighted to learn that this journey drew together a network of right-minded individuals whose collective energy helped give shape to the idea of Mosaic. I believe the first milestone for Mosaic is to encourage successful young Muslims to reach into our schools and communities, to act as ambassadors, role models and mentors to other young Muslims facing the challenges of growing up in these difficult times. Now, it is probably the case that almost all younger people feel disaffected with society at large at some stage in their lives. But with the help of positive role models and the right kind of encouragement to realize their true potential, most young people do go on to live economically and socially productive lives. In this respect, I believe younger British Muslims are no different to other young people in the United Kingdom. However, we perhaps need to be sensitive to a combination of familial and generational differences, historical prejudices or other cultural factors which may enhance a sense of social disaffection. At the end of the day, though, their need for belonging and self-worth is just the same as any other young person, which is why I cannot think of a better way to help them realize their full potential than by bringing them alongside some of Britain's bright young Muslim leaders who have already made that journey successfully. What has given me great encouragement is that several members of Mosaic were in fact drawn from my Young Muslim Leadership Programme up at Oxford, and more recent alumni from this year's event are expected to continue to contribute. This is exactly the sort of joined-up impact a series of well-thought-through initiatives can have, and why I believe that if we are to succeed in addressing wider issues, Mosaic has to take on an even greater challenge, to be a network of multiple Muslim-led initiatives united in a common goal of breaking down barriers across British society. I envisage that Mosaic will need to encompass a wider set of flexible groups, perhaps based around different professions or indeed around urgent social issues. The rehabilitation of ex-offenders in Britain comes to mind, for instance. It is sadly a well-known fact that the proportion of Muslims in British prisons at 9% is disproportionately higher than their representation in society more generally. One way of tackling this issue and preventing reoffending is to deploy mentors who have been offenders themselves. And this is something I have been encouraging through my Prince's Trust, and hopefully this may become possible through Mosaic as well. So it is through this wider ambition that we may perhaps move a step closer to addressing the much more complicated issues which lead to extremism and the resulting risks facing our society. I do believe that Mosaic has the potential to be an important and exciting vehicle for breaking down barriers of mistrust and suspicion, and for promoting the enormously positive contribution that Muslims make to our society. I'm therefore delighted to see Mosaic established and can only encourage you to participate with it in the hope that it will inspire a movement that could make a profound difference to the aspirations and self-esteem of countless young Muslims in Britain.